Come to Helmuth Ford, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Hi, this is Stacy from Shuttler Insurance Services. Come see me on the east side of the square in Sigourney for all your insurance needs.
Attention Iowa business owners. Is your business missing sales because you're too busy to follow up? Every missed call or delayed message could be costing you money. At Easy Biz Tech, we help local businesses stay ahead by automating customer follow-up, so no lead gets left behind. Missed a call? Our system texts back instantly. Need personalized outreach? We send automated texts, emails, and even use AI-powered voice agents to connect with your customers 24/7. Stop losing money because of slow follow-up. Contact Easy Biz Tech today, where Iowa businesses win online.
The Keswick Tavern in Keswick, Iowa is the place to be this Saturday night, October 4th, as Cody Hicks will be performing an outdoor show from 8 to 11 p.m. As always, there's no cover charge. Cody is a singer-songwriter from Montezuma playing high-energy country music. Get your friends, get a drink, and hang out this Saturday night with Cody Hicks at the Keswick Tavern. See you then.
Steve Shuttler Media once again proudly presents Pekin High School football live video streams each Friday night this fall with home and away games and the playoffs. Tune in Friday nights for Pekin High School football right here on Steve Shuttler Media, Facebook, and YouTube. Skunk River Radio, country music from 1990 through 2010 with some Iowa country music sprinkled in. Listen at skunkriverradio.com, download the app, listen on Alexa by saying, Alexa, play Skunk River Radio on TuneIn. You can listen to me, Steve Shuttler, each weekday morning from 6 a.m. to noon, and listen to The Haze from noon to 6 p.m. Skunk River Radio, online radio for country music from 1990 to 2010. And time now for the sports section. We are live at Barn Wired on the south side of the Sigourney Square, 119 East Marion Street. You can stop in on this beautiful Saturday morning for some breakfast and some coffee to get you going on this warm weekend. All right, as usual, we're going to start things off with Pekin football. We also do have Pekin volleyball waiting in the wings, and we'll get to SK coach Jared Jensen a little bit later on this morning as well. Let's take it to Andy McGuire. Andy, let's kick things off.
Coach, we're going to use a term that maybe Steve Shuttler only knows, and that is to describe the game last night as a humdinger.
A slobber knocker.
A slobber knocker. 28-22 victory over North Mahaska, New Sharon. Coach, why was this game so close?
Last Sunday when we started looking at them and Monday's meeting, we knew they might have been 3-2 going into the game last night, but the teams they have been beat by, Madrid and then Linville Sully, who beat Madrid last night. So to me, when you lose the really quality teams and are competitive in those, they had won the games that they were definitely the better team in. I knew that they had athletes all over the field, and we knew it was going to be a dogfight going in. And we'd built a little bit of a lead, but that's football. It goes up and down sometimes, and we got into a little bit longer fight than we'd planned, but our kids showed a lot of resiliency and bounced back and got an overtime win.
So, Coach, you got that overtime win, as you said, and in a large part, or maybe the reason that you got that win was because of this guy sitting next to you. Who did you bring with you today?
Oh, this is Henry Adam, and he's the Swiss Army knife of the Panther football team.
I saw that. I was looking at the box score last night, and Henry, he had some yards. He had some rushing yards. The most important rushing yard was the last one he took into the end zone to seal the victory on that overtime win. But he also caught quite a few balls last night too, right, Coach?
Yeah, I think he had 5 receptions for it's like I went back and counted last night because it's you never know if stat sheet's perfect, but we hopefully got something exciting to go over. It's right at it, but he had over 200 yards in the receiving game and all 4 touchdowns last night. So that was obviously a big part of the win, and but I'm not going to overlook his defensive performance because that's kind of where it starts too.
Right. So, Henry, you had a whale of a night last night. They were throwing to you. You were running the football. You play defense. You are the Swiss Army knife of the Pekin Panthers. I'm sure you're aware of that. What was working for you guys last night that you were able to get the ball in your hands so much?
I think it really started with our rushing offense wasn't the greatest, so we had to switch it up and go to the passing game. And they were just playing off of me, so we were able to just run quick hitch routes and go to that. And then once they started bringing it in and pressing more, then we could take the top over and go over the top.
So tell me about North Mahaska. What were those guys doing that was making it so tough sledding, especially for a guy like Nolan Glick who always seems to get his? What were they doing to slow you guys up?
The big part of it was just their defense and how they lined up. They were really outside contained because we run a lot of sweep. So it was just kind of hard to get to the outside and really seal that edge.
So, Coach, talk to me about that. Outside contain. You're a defensive-minded guy. What is it that you saw that North Mahaska was doing to the Pekin Panthers that was slowing them down on those edges?
They showed a lot of wide 30 front, and then they had some of their most athletic guys outside the DNs. And when they're really big on the inside, it was tough to move the inside to run inside. But then when they were stacked up and with athletes on the edge, like overall, they're a bigger, taller they're a bigger and taller team than us. I'm not going to say more physical, but they had length on the outside, and they had a really big nose tackle on their number 78. But they just had they were lined up perfectly for what their roster is built for. So we were just having trouble, specifically favoring kind of one concept that we normally do. But I think it's really hard to defend a 2- and 3-headed monster. You can try to take one or two away, and we had to kind of hit our counter game, and our counter game went big. And then, like he said, one of his touchdowns was supposed to be a 5-yard hitch, but he's so elusive and physical that after the catch, he's able to break like 2 or 3 tackles and take it for 47 or 53 yards. His yards per catch last night was 41 yards. So, just breaking tackles and making big plays after the catch was pretty big part of it.
Yeah. So, Henry, on the defensive side of the ball, what was North Mahaska doing that they were able to put up 22 points on this Pekin defense, who typically doesn't allow that sort of performance?
Well, the first half, I don't think they let up a point. We didn't let up a point, did we?
No, 14 zip.
Yeah, it was 14 zip at half, and then they came out and they really just started passing the ball. The first half, they ran the ball a lot, and we kind of shut them down. And then the second half, they just started throwing all over us.
Yeah, I noticed that in the box score. I was scrolling down through tackles, and one stat line that caught my attention was Reed Lauderman. I think he had 12 solos, something like that.
12 combined, I think.
Nine solos. Something. It was a ridiculous stat. I mean,
big
he must have been
stat.
flying around. So talk to me about Reed and what he's doing. That's a guy that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, he needs to get in here. He could probably walk under that light and not hit his head on it. He's short, but don't underestimate that kid. I think he's 5'4", but he blocked the punt last night with a fractured hand and a broken ring finger and a fractured pinky finger, and he's laying there for about 5 seconds, and then he pops up. I'm fine, but he's a rodeo. He rodeos, and he's like a bull. I don't know all that stuff, but he wrestles cows to the ground in an organized fashion. But he's seriously, and Henry would agree, he is like the mightiest minded kid. Like, no one's stopping him, and he's a small kid, but he bounced from safety and corner, but he's all over the field too. And offense, he gets involved blocking the perimeter run game. So he's one that I think kids see and they think, oh, it's not going to be a problem, but he's a problem.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Henry Adam last year. Henry, I think we agreed, was about 5'7", 140 pounds last year. Is that right, Henry?
That's what you thought.
But this year it looks like you've hit the beef. So now you're, 6'1" and 230? But you play like it. So let me ask you this question. You're describing Reed Lauderman, who seems to be almost superhuman. If Henry Adam and Reed Lauderman got in a good old back road fist fight, who would win, Coach Weber?
Oh, man. I'm going to say Reed would lasso Henry and tie him up before they got tangled up.
Oh, all right, we'll go with that. Henry, do you want to counter that? You got to.
No, I think he's pretty spot on right there.
Oh, really? All right. So Henry's humble too. Humble Henry. I like it. All right. So you talked about North Mahaska and their record, and then coming into this game, how do you feel team preparation was coming into this week? You guys have had your way, really, honestly, with most of your opponents to this game, but this is really the first test, I would say, Coach Weber.
Yeah, it was, and other teams were good and physical and respect to them, but I knew this. Our schedule's a bell curve, and week 6 gets tough with North Mahaska. We knew it, and I don't know if we're expecting an OT win, but I talked to one of North Mahaska's coach I'm friends with last night. I go, honestly, we want to win, but win or lose, sometime in overtime, I think him and myself were thinking, man, this has been one to remember, and that's why you do it. But week 7, Danville, they're kind of our conference rival, or district rival right now. I think whoever wins next Friday will be the district champion. So that's going to have all the marbles stacked up, and they're going to be tough. Okay, they're going to be tough, just like North Mahaska was. So I think it'll be a little bit tougher. There's district implications that throws a little mentality, hurdles in with it, and then Columbus is always really big and physical, despite, they might not be where they want to be right now, but they're going to be tough as well. So it gets a little bit tougher each week, but I think that was the toughest game we'd had since Northland last year. So we needed that, though. I'll say it a million times. That was good for us. It gelled the kids together last night.
So, Henry, talking about this schedule, is there one specific game on this year's schedule that you kind of had circled before the season started that you thought, yep, that's one we're going to have, or this is one that's going to be tough?
It was kind of New London and North Mahaska, just because we hadn't played them yet and we really didn't know what was it about. Like New London, we knew they were fast. They were 4x1 state champs. And then North Mahaska, we just hadn't played them yet, so we didn't know what we were going to expect.
So roll me into this coming week, Danville. What are you expecting out of Danville?
Danville, they lost a lot of seniors last year, but they like to do a little bit of everything. They pass a lot, they run a lot, and they're just hard-nosed kids.
So tell me about this team, this Pekin Panther team. Last year you had your brother Will, a lot of really high-quality seniors. You guys made a really nice run in the playoffs. Tell me about just like the morale on the team this year. What's the feel like?
It kind of sucked losing Will last year, just because as a leader standpoint, like he was just our vocal leader, and after we lost him, it kind of like during summer workouts we didn't have one of those vocal leaders just to like rah everyone. So myself, Cal Miller, Riley Smith, and Nolan Glick, we had to like really step it up this summer and coming into fall. So I think that was a big thing of our team. But other than that, I think now we've hit our stride.
Very good. How far do you see this team going? What are your aspirations?
I'd like to see us win district championships and go to the Dome. That's the end goal, at least.
Yeah. All right, so we'll take it off the beaten path a little bit. This is my question. What do you do to get yourself hyped up for a football game?
What I do is we have like a speaker in the gym, and all I do is I just pace back and forth up and down the gym like until we bring it up for like defense and special teams and all that stuff.
Yeah. You're wearing out the hallway floor, huh? Yeah. That's your deal? Gym floor. So what's coming out of the speaker?
It's a lot of rock. A lot of our team is like big rock heads, so that's what's playing most of the time.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite song?
No, not really.
Not really, not one. Can you give me one? You got to give me a title. This is one of my deals. I got to know a title.
I don't know about my favorite song, but I'll give you our team's favorite song is Laffy Taffy. We listen to that after every single game.
That's the victory.
That is the victory. I know that one. Laffy Taffy. I'm going to have to look it up. We've talked about this a couple of times.
We talked about this last year,
We did. Yeah, we did. So then post-game, what do you do to recover? I know you're a little sore right now. You got some marks on the neck. I'm going to chalk that up to your shoulder pads.
Every Saturday, or most Saturdays at least, my family and I, it really started my freshman year. We do ice baths every Saturday after football games. So I'm definitely gonna need to take an ice bath today.
So the family does ice baths together?
Not together. We have like a cattle tub that we like fill with water and then ice, and then we take turns.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say we're getting to know Mom and Dad Adam. And you get Leo, and Will's gone now, so it's just a four-way.
Will's back. Will's back.
All
So
right.
he's gonna take one today.
All right. Will's taking ice bath. Good to know.
The goal will be to get him neck down in it. So Brent will have to shove him by the shoulders down.
I think Brent could do it. All right. Well, that's an exciting game last night. I think Shetler has some exciting news, too.
Well, I just wanted to chime in. I know, Clint, you just sent me right before the show started. I brought it up earlier on the screen that Henry had a record-breaking performance as far as receiving yards, right?
Yeah, so I was thought Robert Brown was at 206, and then I went back to Bound and found 204, and then I went back in my record graphics from last year, and it said 204. So I'm a little limited on hours, so I got to go back and do a little more. But like I'm noted, he's for sure tied, if not broke, the single game receiving record last night with 205 yards. So if anything, he'll have to take a seat beside Robert Brown, or he stole Robert by 1 yard. But Robert's one of those kids, he'd be happy for Henry, so that's really exciting.
And then we'll also put up on the screen, Henry, of course, was chosen as our Daisy Dew Landscaping Player of the Game, so congratulations on that. Let's take a peek. I don't know if we've really talked about this individual play yet, the play that ended the game. I kind of singled it out on the Steve Shetler Media Facebook page earlier this morning, but we've got about a 20-second clip. We'll take a look at it, and maybe you can describe that last play, Quint.
Throw up tight. Henry Adams in the slot on the near side.
Everything
Adams
kind of
goes in
falls
motion.
back to our unique. I got a lot of single wing principles built into our offense, and it's nothing different, I guess, than Bob Howard probably would have done in a big moment. But it's a direct snap to Nolan, who's probably got about 450 yards on this year, and we sold that all game long. And I guess we're lead blocking Riley Smith, who's our quarterback, and they kind of lose track because Henry does a lot of motion and blocking, and a motion and pass game, and then he motioned and took an inside handoff. It's kind of like a naked counter is what it looks like, and their backside defensive end was trying to pursue Nolan and ran right by him, and it was good timing. We talked about in the regulation that we were going to try to come back with that because it's tough to keep track of him, one, and two, he's a very physical runner. So it was good timing, and it did make for a good
little clip
video at the end of the.
Well, you had me
game,
fooled.
so.
I was telling you before the show began this morning. You can, if you go back and watch it, you can see my camera started following, going to the right, and then I was like, "Whoa, we're going back to the left." So yeah, it was very.
Our end
very
zone
well
guy
done.
fell for it too. So
Yes.
Max Pfeiffer's awesome. I'm going to give him a shout out. He's incredible with their technology, but that's all right if he fell for the fake. That means we ran the play well. So.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah, you must have really fooled him because if you get a football mind like Shetler going the wrong way, that's really, really elusive.
Right.
Oh, stop, Andy.
Oh, stop. Anyway, congrats on the win last night, fellas. Well done. Pekin continues to roll undefeated, so we're really looking forward to seeing what next week brings and then where you guys are going to go in the postseason. So, of course, we're cheering for you.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
All right, that is Pekin football once again here on the sports section on Steve Shetler Media. All right, let's take a break, and we'll have Pekin volleyball in next.
At Pekin Community Schools, opportunity isn't limited. It's everywhere. From FFA to music, business to athletics, our students explore it all. Small class sizes mean big advantages. Personal attention, strong relationships, and academic success that goes above and beyond. You're more than a student. You're a story, a voice, a vital part of our school family. From the classroom to the kitchen, every adult helps shape futures. At Pekin, pride runs deep, where everybody is somebody.
Schedule your next dental appointment with Dr. Dan Schuster at Oski Dental, 641-673-4845. They're accepting new patients. Oski Dental will file all of your insurance forms for you. They're a Delta dental provider. And Oski Dental is located at 902 South 17th Street in Oskaloosa. That's Oski Dental, 641-673-4845. We make smiles happen at Oski Dental. Stop by James Family Greenhouse and Produce in Sigourney. They have a variety of hanging baskets, annuals, shrubs, perennials, trees, mulch, and vegetable plants. Plus, you can spruce up your landscape with yard decor or decorate the inside of your home with home decor. James Family Greenhouse is also a great place to stop in for some gift ideas. You gotta stop in and see it all for yourself. James Family Greenhouse at 701 East Jackson in Sigourney. And be sure to follow their page on Facebook.
Looking for more than just a job? Find a career where you make a difference right in your community.
What I appreciate about First Resources is our dedication to innovation, always looking for ways to expand programming and offer greater opportunities for our staff and everyone involved.
First Resources staff are amazing. They're committed and they are motivated and they are fierce advocates to help clients meet their goals.
If you're ready to join a team committed to making a difference, apply online and join us at First Resources.
Build it together. Build it with Valley Lumber.
Are you building a new house or maybe wanting to do a remodel? Come check out our showroom at Valley Lumber and Hardware's Eddyville location. Cook kitchen cabinets, masonite interior doors, and more. Not sure what you want? Let us help with the design and layout of your new kitchen or remodel. At Valley Lumber and Hardware, we can help with any room in the house, from lumber for building to shower enclosures, paint, and more. Choose Valley Lumber and Hardware with locations in Eddyville and Albia.
The mission of Essence of Life Hospice is to provide comprehensive, coordinated care to individuals with life-limiting illnesses and to their families, and to support them in the process of death and bereavement. Our goal is to provide palliative care that addresses the physical, psychological, and spiritual dimensions of service for the terminally ill as an integrated whole. We pride ourselves on providing the highest quality care and are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, visit essencehospice.com. All right, we are back here at Barnwired in downtown Sigourney on a Saturday morning for the sports section, 119 East Marion Street. Maybe you need to call in your order at 641-622-9912. Stop in for some breakfast and coffee on this Saturday morning at Barnwired. All right, Andy, we go from Pekin football to Pekin volleyball, and we've got a screen full. Andy, take it away.
We do have a screen full. Coach, do we have the entire Pekin? No, we don't. We don't have enough here for the full crew, at least to get a court full. But, Coach, tell us who you brought along with you today.
Peyton Coleman, she's our libero. Senior Caitlin Schultz outside for us. Maya Glick, she kind of does whatever I need her to do. Carly Gamble, she's our setter, and then Taylor Moore's our right side.
All right, Coach, before we start talking to these young ladies, tell me how the season's been going so far.
We've had actually a really good season, probably the best one we've had since I've been at Pekin, which is really fun. They're a great group of hardworking girls who they want to do good. They want to change the name of Pekin volleyball, so it's really fun to see them finally be successful.
Yeah, that's great. So who was the latest match that you guys have been up against?
Yeah, we played Lone Tree Thursday.
And how did that go?
We won in 3 sets. I think we can all agree we didn't play our best volleyball, but we got the win. So.
All right, awesome. So let's start meeting some of these players. If you want to pass the mic down, if you want to start off and just tell us your name, what class you're in, senior, junior, and then maybe who your parents are.
Got it. I'm Peyton Coleman. I'm a senior, and my mom is Morgan Coleman, and my dad is Dustin Coleman.
I'm Caitlin Schultz. I'm a senior. My parents are Jerry and Jared Schultz.
I'm Maya Glick. My parents are Allison Glick and Adam Glick, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Carly Gamble. I'm a sophomore, and my parents are Elizabeth Toll and Andrew Gamble.
I'm Taylor Moore. I'm a sophomore, and my parents are Kim and Todd Moore.
Okay, so one of the questions I always ask that you all don't see on the screen beforehand is which one of the athletes is the most talkative? And Peyton, by far and away, you were nominated as the most talkative person on this squad right now. Tell me about this team and what do you guys have going for morale? You know, what is the team atmosphere like? Do you guys have fun? Is it serious? Tell me about the team.
We have a lot of fun until Jordan starts glaring at us, and then we just gotta lock in. We have to be serious. She tells us to stop talking and focus, but we never really do. It's just a really good atmosphere. Like, we have a lot of girls that just like to have fun around each other. Like, even our fresh off through varsity, we all have so much fun together, and we really don't have any issues. Like, we all just bond. Like, we always bond. We do team bondings that help us get along. We really just not have any issues. Caitlin and I are the team captains. We kind of just shut that down at the beginning. We said, we're not having that.
Not having it. Is that right, Peyton? Yeah, it is. Yeah. I see why she's the talkative one, right? Yeah, that's true. All right, so you're the libero, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me about libero. If I'm a person that knows nothing about volleyball, what is libero?
The libero is the person that likes to throw themselves on the ground the most. They can't go in the front row is what I always tell people. And they're just, I don't want to say the best passer, but one of the better passers up there.
Okay. So kind of selfless, likes to get, maybe the floor burn, stuff like that. Is
And
that
you're
fair to
5'1".
say? And you're 5'1".
Yep.
So
You
you're
can't
kind of you're kind of describing Henry Adam. Is
Yep.
Henry Adam like the libero of the Pekin football team?
Well, actually, we played him in Ironman, and he was the middle.
Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Is Henry Adam any good at volleyball?
Well, my sister is his boyfriend, so she coached him up. I meant girlfriend. So she coached him up, and he's actually very good. He is pretty good.
Yeah, I was doing the math there for a second, and you gave me some material just for a minute that I could poke at Henry a little bit more, but that's okay. We'll let that go.
Got it.
Yeah, okay. So then tell me about the rest of the girls on the team as far as what their roles are.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're the talkative one. You've been
Okay.
dubbed the one that's going to speak.
Caitlin's our outside. She always is just sitting in our face, clapping, saying, "Let's go, we got this." She's always just that reminder that we need to push and get the win and push through whatever we're going through.
All right, hold on for that for a second. Caitlin, can you demonstrate sitting in the face and clapping for us?
You do it every time. You gotta know. Just come on, we got this.
Is that the way that it is?
It's exactly like that.
Fantastic. All right, let's keep
Okay.
going.
Okay, Maya, she's our little baby freshman. She does very good and this is her first year of volleyball, right?
Yeah.
Yep, this is her first year ever playing volleyball, and she's on varsity as a freshman. She does very, very, very good.
All right.
And we're always
Let
proud
me
of
jump
her.
in here for a second, too. So, freshman, last name Glick. Am I putting the math together that you might know the guy on the football team, too?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
It's her brother.
I figured.
Got
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah. Okay. Carly, she's our setter. She's really the leader of our court most of the time because that's the role of a setter. She does very good. She keeps us in line. She makes sure we know what we're doing. Taylor, she's our right side hitter. She does very, very good. A lot of our kills come from Taylor in the right side. She puts up a very good block, which is awesome for our defense. And Jordan here, she's our coach.
Jordan's the coach, yep. I kind of picked off that maybe you were the hitter just because of this compared to this. So talk to me about hitting. What is it about hitting that you like, or do you like the blocking side of things more?
I kind of like doing both because it's such a change of pace in between them. And I think hitting's just really fun.
So let's bring it back to the other captain now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So why don't you run through personality types around the horn here? Can you do that for me?
Yes. I'll start with Taylor. Taylor is very quiet. She's a little goofy at times. She's pretty funny. Carly, oh baby Carly. She thinks she's really funny, which sometimes she is, but sometimes she's also not. Maya, she's blonde, which so am I. It's okay. Sometimes she's confused, but we help her out. It's okay.
Your first, she's blonde, Steve Shetler.
One blonde's on another.
Where's the punchline on that one?
It's okay. We still love her. Peyton, if it's a good day, she's got a really uplifting mood, and she's yelling and talking, and everything's going great. And if she's mad, you will know she's mad.
And you forgot the coach.
Oh, Jordan. Sometimes she gets mad that we are goofing off, which I understand because we tend to goof off a lot, but it's okay. We love her.
So, Coach, it looks like you have your hands full with this group
That
of
is
players.
correct.
What is it that you can do with this group when you have this much personality to keep them focused?
I think having just a wide range of personalities is actually what makes our group so much fun. But they're right. Like sometimes practice can get a little bit out of hand, and they always say I yell. I'm definitely not a yeller by any means, but we do have to kind of rein it in sometimes. But like I said, it's fun to when all of their personalities gets going. But then again, they can kind of clash sometimes. So
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So tell me about practice. What is it that you guys run through? Do you guys have certain drills? Are you guys trying to simulate games? How do you run through a practice?
Well, we always do serve receive. And then, sometimes it's kind of hard because we don't necessarily have another 6 that we can put on the floor that necessarily match the type of competition that we play against. So we do what we can. Sometimes I have to step in and play, which I personally love just because playing it sometimes. So that's always fun to step in and play with them. But we just do what we can with, what we have. But sometimes it is a little difficult when we don't have the other 6 at the level of the competition that we play, because we do have a very tough conference. And so trying to simulate that, sometimes we use boxes or I step on to hit, or sometimes I might throw our opposite hitters on the other side. We just, do what we can.
And so talk to me about numbers. You mentioned you might not have another 6 that can simulate that level of competition, but tell me about a JV. Do you guys have a JV that you run? How are your numbers at Pekin for volleyball?
We actually have the most girls out this season that we've had since I've been at Pekin, so that's really great to see. We have 22. Last year we only had, I think we ended with 17 or 18, so we have a few more girls this year. But a lot of our girls, they can't just play on one team. They shuffle back and forth. Some shuffle between 3 teams. And so sometimes those girls are off playing on their fresh off and practicing with their JV teams. And then we're just kind of left with varsity, especially when we practice all together. So that's when I really step in. The other day we practiced with just JV and varsity. And so then we were able to put 12 girls on and really be competitive. And so that was nice to see.
And so earlier you mentioned you were wanting to change maybe the image or the perception of Pekin volleyball. Tell me about that. How has Pekin performed previously, and where do you see the team going?
I would say when my husband and I came to Pekin, nobody really talked about volleyball. Nobody really, I would say, respected the program. It was just constantly loss after loss. I don't really feel like they necessarily believed that they could win. Nobody ever gave them that, feeling that you can win, you're good enough. And then just over the course of the years that I've been here, you can just see their mindset has changed. And I love to hear people say, oh my gosh, like they actually believe that they can win now, and things like that. So that's nice to see.
Yeah, that's great. So ladies, tell me about that. Do you guys have goals set for yourselves as far as what you want the rest of the season to look like? I was looking at your record. I think we're 11-13 right now, maybe close to 500. Where do you guys see the season going?
This is the first time we've been in double digits, so we already met that goal. Like double-digit wins is what I mean. And personally, I am 28 digs away from 500 career digs, so that's a goal I have for myself by the end of the season.
That's awesome. Let's go through the rest of the ladies and see what kind of goals you all have for yourselves.
I don't really have many goals for myself the rest of the season than to not suck, so
we love honesty here. You're not going to offend me, and this is a podcast, so it's really not syndicated. We won't get Shetler fired, I don't think, unless he fires himself.
We only have like a few games left, and as a senior, that's just really sad. My goal is not to cry. So
is it working for you so far? No, looks like you're going to break up on me right now. We got to keep moving because I don't need a girl crying on this show. That'd be another first.
I don't have many goals, but I definitely want to keep getting better at practice, games, and just keep a positive mental state.
A goal I have for myself is to get 350 assists on the season, and I'm getting pretty close with about 42 digs left with the rest of the season. I don't really have any goals other than to just keep having fun and celebrate with the team, everyone.
Experience. Yeah, the coach is kind of cringing over here going, we maybe need to have some goal-setting sessions, but it's all good, I mean, if we set goals for wins and we work together as captains, as teammates, and then we can bring some of these younger folks along, that's what this is all about. It's about leadership. So, I kudos to Pekin volleyball because it sounds like we're on the right track. Coach to doing some big things and making Pekin volleyball relevant, I think, is really what I'm hearing. All right, so talk to me about the fun. I asked Henry in that first segment, what is the pre-game, pre-meet prep? And I'm getting some chuckles already, which is a good sign, at least for entertainment purposes. What do you guys do to get fired up for a meet?
It usually starts with me trying to do my hair and then giving up, throwing a brush, asking Carly for help, and then Carly has to help everyone do their hair. And then while we do that, we listen to some music. I'm still pouting because my hair, I couldn't do it myself. Carly's supposed to be doing it, and it looks fine, but I'm still stressing out because of my hair. I'm not even worried about the game because I'm already locked in when it's time to go at the bell for school. So that's really what I do. I'm sure Carly's looks kind of the same. Watch me throw a brush, do my hair, listen to music, get pumped up, stretch, get ready to go.
All right. Of course, Carly, you know the question's going to be, what's the music?
A variety of things. I don't think that there's really a genre we listen to. We just kind of put on a playlist and listen to it.
Mm-hmm. And does the Pekin volleyball group have this Laffy Taffy thing that the...
We stole it.
You did?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We do listen to that song often.
Excellent. So
Yep.
this is a cross sport tradition.
Yeah, it really
developing.
is. Yep.
Huh. So can you guys sing me Laffy Taffy?
It's definitely not.
Not acceptable?
think so.
No,
No.
not going to happen? So you guys aren't singers?
No.
How about dancers?
I really feel like Henry or this came from basketball. I feel like the basketball would feel betrayed if we sang it and not them.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. What about post?
Keep that in mind for basketball season.
Yeah.
then.
Absolutely, yeah. File that in the Rolodex, Steve. What do you guys do for a celebration after a big win?
Not really anything. We're just happy that we got the win. We're humble.
Clap and cheer in the locker room. and then
We're
we get our
humble.
stuff and go home.
Yep.
So really no goals. We do hair. We're worried about those
Hey,
things.
I had a goal. I had a goal.
A couple of you had goals. A little bit happenstance around here, but that's okay. So you guys have any hidden talents? I'm digging deep. I want to find something that is going to really push this over the edge for us. You guys have done great, but I'm looking for, the cherry
If my
on top of the
sister was
sundae.
here, this would have been much more interesting.
Oh yeah? How so?
Because all we do is argue. Really, ask Jordan. It's a great time at practice.
Where's
It's
she
out
at
of,
this
it's
morning?
out of love. She is playing softball in Grimes this morning.
Priorities.
Sometimes you have to go to a no talking to each other.
Shut it down. I got you.
I do have to throw this in, Andy, that Paisley, Coleman, and Gamble, what's your first name? Carly. Forgot Carly's first name. Have been voted our female athlete of the week 2 of the first 5 weeks now of the school year. And Pekin Volleyball has also been voted our team of the week 1 time this year. So, I mean, obviously you guys have a lot of backing and a lot of support from your family and friends in the Pekin community. What are your thoughts on that, on getting voted the athletes and the team of the week?
That kind of goes with what Jordan was talking about our image. Like, we didn't used to have this support. Like, you would not see more than 5 people in our student section actually standing up cheering. This year we have an amazing student section. All our parents come, all our grandparents come, our grandparents' friends come to watch us just to talk about how good we're doing. The support is amazing this year. Like, we have never had this much people care to come and watch.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Carly, what are your thoughts on getting the athlete of the week, female athlete of the week?
It's just really comforting to know that people are there to support me and my goals that I'm setting for volleyball, and that they are noticing what I'm doing on the court.
And Carly can smack the softball around too. We did some softball over the summer, and she hit at least 1 or 2 home runs that I can recall. So yeah, heck of an athlete.
That's fantastic. So Carly and Peyton voted athlete of the week a couple of times.
Paisley,
Sorry,
her sister.
Paisley.
Yeah.
Paisley. Okay, so is there competition there to see who's going to win this thing?
No, I feel like it's kind of just we really celebrate whoever gets it, and we're happy for each other no matter what. It's not really a competition thing. It's kind of just we're celebrating everyone.
Oh, that's great. Well, here's another group of Pekin athletes that are just fantastic. We always talk about Pekin football every Saturday. We have Pekin football on, but we had Pekin cross country. We've had Pekin track. We've had Pekin basketball. We've had a lot of Pekin interest on this show, and every time you all come on, it's an awesome interview, and I really enjoy it. And this one's a lot different, though, because you guys seem to have a ton of fun, but it's a little bit subdued at times. So, Coach, best of luck to you with this crew.
We might have to bring Peyton back as like the co-host of the show for now.
I think so, and your sister.
Yeah, that would be good. We can get along sometimes.
Might have to do one of those wrestling matches and see how that goes again, too. So,
there you go.
Anyway, congratulations, Pekin Volleyball, for a nice season going so far. And here's to hopefully setting some realistic goals.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back with SK coach Jared Jensen right after this.
Kyoto Community School District, we are proud to lead with innovation, excellence, and the heart. With our student-teacher ratio low, our classrooms are built for connection, giving every student the attention they deserve. We continue with our 4-day school week for the 25-26 school year, creating more time for personalized learning, enrichment, and sport. And the results speak for themselves. In the 2024 ISAF scores, our students ranked number 1 in math and number 2 in English in our conference. That's academic achievement. That's community pride. That's Kyoto Schools.
Stam Garden Center. Transform your indoor and outdoor space with our stunning selection. Visit us today, open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa.
Complete Care of Iowa is a medical clinic located in Sigourney, Iowa that provides care to patients of all ages. Located at 113 East Marion Street in Sigourney. Call 641-541-4040. Complete Care of Iowa is open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Tuesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday by appointment only. They're currently accepting new patients. Find more information at CompleteCareOfIowa.com. Complete Care of Iowa. Healthcare for where you are. Find your Iowa dream home with AE Realty in Montezuma. With unparalleled industry knowledge and local expertise, AE Realty is the Montezuma real estate expert you've been looking for. Whether you're buying or selling, AE Realty can help you get the best deal. You can find AE Realty at 321 East Main Street in Montezuma. Call 641-623-2639 or go to aerealtyinc.com.
Early fall days can be pretty warm, and a well-chilled white fruity wine might be very welcome, especially if you're sitting outside. Tassel Ridge, Iowa Edelweiss is an award-winning popular wine that can be sipped or paired with spicy foods. Candle Glow White is a drier alternative that will pair with grilled fish or chicken. And if you're looking for a fizzy wine to celebrate a win by your favorite football team, try our Oski Fazzotti Pink, a fizzy sweet pink wine. Tassel Ridge wines are available at more than 300 retail outlets, and all are available at Tassel Ridge Winery in Leiden.
And we do thank all of our sponsors on board on Steve Shetler Media for the sports section. Again, we're live every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. at the sports section of Barnwired in downtown Sigourney. A warm weekend here in southeast Iowa, and you might want to get things started off here at Barnwired with some coffee and some breakfast. We're going to go to our final segment of the show this morning, and as always, it is during the fall season, I should say. It's always with SK coach Jared Jensen. Andy McGuire, take it away.
Coach, Iowa City Regina last night, final score 41-7 in favor of the Regals. Another high-quality opponent, this one time in district. Coach, what was working for the Regals last night?
Just about everything. You know, and we knew the talent level at which they have at each position is tough for any team to match up against. And then their understanding of where to go and when to go there, and you know, they are a tough offense to stop. They've got so many weapons that you know whether it's the receivers, tight ends, the backs flaring out. I mean, you've got to have everybody in the right spot at the right time, and their timing is on point. And if you're not where you're supposed to be, they're popping it in there for a completion. But you know, the running game was. That Saviano's tough to stop, you know. I mean, their offensive line had a heck of a night getting him, you know, out in space and him using his vision and speed. And you know, I think we just struggled to match up athletically with them, really, defensively, offensively, or that for their defense, just physical. I mean, they had guys flying to the ball all night. You know, I felt like at times, I mean, there were holes there, and we were getting to the holes, and then they were closing down with 2 or 3 guys. So just never really had much space to be able to get out and go. They did a good job of reading and closing stuff down, because the initial hole, I felt like, all right, we can get up in there, and then, 2 or 3 bodies coming in at different angles and really know where to go. So, and then special teams, opening kickoff goes back for a touchdown. So they were rocking on all cylinders, and we didn't meet our expectation, I don't feel like.
Yeah, I saw the same thing, Coach. I don't want to spend too much time talking about Iowa City Regina, but out of the gate, the eye test, man, that group passes it square out of the gate. I likened it to a bit of PCM, where you just look at that line and you go, boy, these guys are all D1 type athletes. And then you throw that number 0, the tight end receiver, the quarterback, the running back, and then a couple other folks on there that are just unbelievable athletes. And it was just plain and simple a mismatch. Is the way that I felt about it.
They are clearly the better team, and throughout the district, throughout the season, every team they faced, they've been the better team. They've got things going again. I feel like they're getting back to the Regina of old.
Right, I agree with you. But let's talk about some positives, and you touched on this just for a second, was the initial hole that the offensive line was creating. I saw that as well, that, hey, we weren't having necessarily the miscues last night that maybe we had in definitely the first 3 games, and it improved at EBF and it improved at Louisa Muscatine. But I thought that group as a whole took a pretty big step forward last night, because that hole was there, and I think that Iowa City Regina needs to be given credit because they shut it down when we were able to get into the hole, whether it was Ike or Galindo, or if Woody was carrying up the Miller or Carson O'Rourke. It was there for a second, and then it was gone. So can you talk about that progression on offensive line?
Well, I think we after the first 3 games, we had to go back to running our base of our offense, just so we can understand where we're going, what we're doing, depending on the front. One guy's alignment change, and our blocking scheme changes a little bit. So going back and just fine-tuning that, throwing a lot of fronts at them, making them talk and communicate. Okay, let's talk through this. We were shaded outside here, now he's inside shade. What does that mean for us? And I think we're doing a better job of understanding where we're going and who we're getting. The initial punch on the line was good, trap good. Maybe double teams weren't getting to a backer. Our wrapper maybe wasn't finding the backer, or we may have got both of those things picked up, and there's a safety and a corner coming from the outside and coming from up high. And, they were a phenomenal tackling team. There was times where against other teams, I think some of those runs do go, but, you always think you got to make one guy miss. Well, they weren't letting us miss. They were coming and tackling at the legs, at the ankles, and just trying to absolutely chop you down. And where a lot of high school kids are trying to tackle up high, and that typically doesn't work out very well. So, I'll give them credit for kind of just getting bodies and making tackles. But I think our offensive line has progressed. We've had kind of a mixed match of guys. And I still kind of see that as a possibility as well. What do we need? Like last night, we felt like we needed to move Owen back out strong tackle to help secure that edge on 8s and 9s. Nepper stepped back in at strong guard. We've got Ty as well that started the game at strong tackle, but Owen's a bigger body and brings a bigger punch, and that's why we kind of moved him to strong guard initially. But if we weren't able to block out there at our tackle position very well against some bigger dudes, 8s and 9s would not have been successful at all. And so we've got the ability to mix and match depending on what we see and what we need. With that, it comes a lot of responsibility, though. You better know both positions if we're going to be able to do that. So, and I'm proud of our effort. We had a lot of things going on in the week that were distractions and things that we didn't want this week. But I felt like our older guys, seniors did a good job of staying, on the vision and, kind of bringing those other guys along. And, we went out, we competed. we just clearly weren't as talented as Regina was.
Well, that's a tough topic to wade through. You know, we've seen this before where you play the Pella Christians or you play the Iowa City Reginas. You know, at the end of the day, it was two football teams lined up against each other and had a contest, right? But, you know, if you set that aside and you just look at it objectively at how Iowa City Regina forms a team versus how Sigourney Keota or any of the rest of these schools in this district form their team, there is a difference, right, Coach?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially with all the new policies that kind of went through with school choice and things like that. You got opportunities to kind of go wherever you want. Obviously, they're in a large city, able to draw a lot of bodies, and you know, I think, you know, I know in the past, you know, former Hawkeyes, former NFL players being coaches. I mean, that naturally just draws people. You know, and the staff they have now. I mean, the 20 of them that were out there. You know, I'm sure they have a lot of ties within high level of football, and they've just got really talented kids at that school right now. And you know, we're homegrown. You know, with Sigourney and Keota homegrown, we maybe get a few move-ins here or there, but you know, we and I, you know, I've said it before. I feel like we get the most out of our guys. You know, whereas some schools, you know, coaching there, not that coaching's easy, not easy anywhere, but when you have 30 bodies that are high level players, you know, you're bound to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to make is, you know, you just look at these teams, you look at that team and you look at how that team comes together and you just question, is this the best form of competition for the state of Iowa for this class size? You know, like you say, it's a larger city. It's a different model as far as what the enrollment is. And are we comparing apples to apples here?
No. I mean, it's, I think the reality, and some people probably think this or that, you know, they're probably saying, no, it's all fair. And you know, other people, you know, no, it's not fair. You can kind of choose who you want. You know, you can limit bodies coming in. You know, but what do you do? I mean, they're on the schedule, you go play them, and, you know, you can't really do anything about it unless the state makes a decision to do something different with private schools. But, you know, I believe there is a built-in advantage there. You know, we have who we have. You have access to anybody throughout the state, and, you know, I guess it is what it is. We'll keep grinding. We'll do the best with what we have, and you know, if that's good enough to beat them, it's good enough to beat them. If it's not, it's not.
Yeah. So I want to ask one more question on this topic before we move on. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, Coach, but, you know, if you put yourself, you know, we talk about maybe some of this is apples and oranges sort of thing. If you were to put yourself in, you know, IHSAA, what would you do to try and make sure that we're on the same plane as far as that goes? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I mean, there's, you know, people say, oh, one class. Well, I mean, okay, now you're talking even more disparity, even though maybe it's a private school class by itself. Well, you've got Dowling all the way down to, I don't know who the smallest one is that plays football, but that's probably a bigger disparity than what, you know, it is a private school playing in a certain class. But, you know, I think there's some other models out there. You know, bumping them up a class, doing enrollment time, you know, 1.5 or what. I don't know exactly what Illinois does, but, you know, there's some multipliers out there and things like that. And I don't know what the answer is. And, you know, but honestly, even moving up a class, you know, I think they're still who they are. And, you know, I don't think you know, I would say the quality of 2A, your top quality 2A teams are probably above some 1As, but they would fit right there with them. And in years past, I mean, they could go play in 3A and still probably, you know, be in some championship games. So what the right answer is, I don't know. You know, I would never want the responsibility of making those decisions, so we'll just keep rocking with what we've got.
Absolutely, and I do want to point out that this is a sidebar conversation, and it's more about, you know, how do you adjust and how do you make competition fair. Again, we play, SK plays who you put in front of us, and I know that that's your mantra, and this is me asking those questions as far as, you know, your opinion on how you would make that happen.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. I mean, that team last night, that Regina team, to me is one of two really impressive teams that I've seen in the last, say, 5 years. One was Van Meter the year that we lost in that quarterfinal, and last night was Regina, and that's saying a lot because I think PCM over the last 3 years has had some fantastic teams, but I honestly think that Regina team last night would handle PCM, and that's my opinion. And this is Shetler's show, so I can say that here. But I think Regina was
actually kind of talked about that last night in the office there. I won't really kind of say we had mixed reviews. I'll say that. You know, both teams are big, physical. You know, I would say PCM may have been more of the physical team, but skill-wise, can they match that physicality versus the skill Regina has? That'd be something to see.
It would be fun. Getting back to the positives of the game last night, Chase Clarahan. We haven't talked about Chase Clarahan a lot, but he had the chance to kick the ball, and I thought he did a fantastic job booting that, trying to flip the field and trying to give these Cobras a chance to put something together.
I thought he did a tremendous job. Early in the season, couldn't quite get his footing as far as you know, the ball placement on the foot. You know, he's kind of changed a few things, and he kind of said, I think it was Thursday, you know, he popped a really good one, or maybe it was Wednesday. And I'm like, man, if you can just do that every time, you know. And he's like, yeah, I've been changing the placement of you know, getting it off the side, and just keep doing what you're doing, because I think his longest punt last night was 50. I think his shortest punt was 42. So he was, I think, a couple 44s, 45s. You know, in that, you know, in big games, that's going to come into play big time. I mean, you know, flipping that field, you know, you get a 30-yard punt compared to a 50-yard punt, you're feeling pretty good about where they're starting to set up. So, you know, kind of a Swiss Army knife of a kid. I mean, he's not kicking for us, he's punting, but he can also kick, he can punt, plays defense, plays quarterback, you know, plays some blocking back. I mean, he's a kid that we just rely on to whatever we need, he's willing to do, and that's what I love about him.
Yeah, he's having a quietly fantastic season at linebacker as well, and that was a crew I was going to mention today too. Carson O'Rourke with that interception, you know, close to goal line, and then comes out, breaks off like a 50-yard run, and just gets called back. You know, just some miscues last night. I think we put 3 on the ground that were turnovers. You know, those are just fundamental things that we can't have happen. Coach, was the ball slick last night? It looked like I saw Woody come off at one point wiping his hands on a coach's shirt. You know, was something going on the field last night?
No, I don't really think so. I think you know, a lot of it was Regina did a really good job of punching or getting helmets to the ball. You know, we had one mishap on a snap, supposed to be a 4 snap, ended up being a 5 snap, but we were expecting a 4, and you know, kind of hit a body and went on the ground. But you know, the other couple, yeah, we've got to have better ball security, but you know, they're talented enough, and you know, it's not all just about making tackles for them. It's about I know somebody else is gonna be there to make the tackle. If I'm the first one there, I'm gonna be punching away at that ball or putting my helmet on it, and that happened a couple times there. But you know, I thought Carson, you know, that was a huge pick. I mean, that was tailback out of the backfield, or that H-back motion coming across, shot out in the flats. I didn't think he saw him right away, but he had that closing speed, went over there. You know, and honestly, they both caught it about the same time, but once they kind of spun around, Carson ripped that thing away, and they gave it to us. So phenomenal play there. And, you know, then he got his opportunity running a counter for us and popped a big one off. That, you know, I went back and watched that play, and who they called for holding, it definitely was not holding. I think they meant another number, but I still don't think that was a holding. I think that was a sideline call on their side, and you know, but it is what it is. It got called back, but that was a big run getting out of the deep, because I think we were on the 4-yard line at that point. Maybe we got out a few yards. That wasn't our first play from scrimmage there. Once we got the interception, but you know, he had a good night. He stepped up to the challenge, and you know, went out and played. And I thought, you know, between him at Sam. We also had Blake Baker in at Sam there early, moved him back out to corner, and then Jacob Leib and Chase Clarahan in the middle. I thought those guys did a really good job. They've quietly done that all year long, and I think just continue to get better, and it's I think up front sometimes is a little bit of an issue. Getting linemen getting through our defensive line to pick up those backers, but when they got a clean crease, man, they're flying through making plays, and we just got to continue to get a little bit better on in every aspect of the game, offensively, defensively, and special teams. But we're excited. We understand the district championship hope is over. Now you got to align your next your next vision and next goal, and that's we got to win out, finish second, get a home game in the playoffs, and play a 3 seed rather than going on the road and playing a 2 seed.
And it starts next week with Durant. And this is going to be a really high-quality opponent. They were ranked for a while, maybe dropped out the last polls that I was watching, but, at the bottom side of those polls, people come in, people come out. I know we could have easily been there multiple times. What are we going to see against Durant next week?
Well, I went and watched them versus Regina 2 weeks ago there when we had that Thursday game, and I thought they were the most physical team on the field early in the game. Now, once they kind of wore down, Regina, took over the physicality aspect, but you're going to have another name we've heard for years with Nolan DeLong. His younger brother Owen DeLong's now in the mix. So, they're big up front. They're a physical football team. They've got a gigantic fullback, and then a tailback in DeLong that we know what his brother was able to do. He's not quite his brother yet, but they're going to be a team we're going to have to work on shutting down the run. They'll try to throw some. They can put it in the air, but they're going to rely heavily on the run. So defensively, we've got to make sure we can contain the ISOs. And then offensively, again, with those big guys up front, that fullback's a linebacker. They've got athletes out there. We're going to have to make sure we match their physicality and kind of do what Regina did and wear them down and use their physicality against them.
So, Coach, talk to me about the mood of the team last night. We had a rough go of it coming through the non-district. We knew last night was going to be tough. You get 41 hung on you. That's never a good feeling. Is this team still staying together, or are we starting to see some of the cracks in the concrete?
Well, I think our older guys are still in the mix, and again, I think there are some splinters. There's some people splintering this thing a little bit. Just behaviors and actions and how they treat their teammates and things like that. And we're currently dealing with that right now, and we'll continue to handle that on our front. And but I think our older guys, for the most part, are still, their vision is their vision, and they know what it takes to be successful. And I think that's what a lot of youth don't understand. Your actions and behavior, there's consequences, and will those consequences affect our team's ability to be successful? The answer is yes. And so we've got to clean some of that stuff up. If we're going to be successful at all, you've got to be successful individuals, not just going and doing what you want and saying what you want. And there's a lot more responsibility when you're with our program than and higher standards than that of other people that aren't a part of this thing. And I think it's one of those things. All those things come into play when it comes to a team being successful.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is the thing that really matters at the end of the day is building quality people, right? And football is great. Competition is important. Getting the win, getting the loss, those things happen. But at the end of the day, treating your teammate, treating the public, treating other teams with respect, that's what this program is about. Would you agree with that, Coach?
Yeah. The standard is the standard, and we've been around this enough. We've had teams that were successful, and we see the traits that those teams held to make them successful, and you just try to keep building off those things. And successful people aren't just successful on the field. It's a routine in life, and that's what we're trying to get our guys to understand.
Right, absolutely. So now that the district championship is off the table, like you say, Durant, then we go to Cardinal. trying to get that playoff seed. Coach, where do you see this team going? What do you think is realistic for this team to have happen?
Well, I think we win the next two, get a home game. I think our district, maybe a little bit light. So who are they going to match us up with? Will it be a district that's loaded, and their 3 seed is kind of like last year's West Branch, the 4 seed. Their district was just loaded, and 4 really quality teams, and we got the 4 and didn't quite pull it out. So I could see us getting a solid 3 seed. And then it's a new season. So whatever's happened in the past has happened in the past. You got one game to get it done. You got to do it, and that'll be the expectation. Move on to round 2, get to round 2, take care of round 2, get to round 3.
All right, Coach. Weathering the storm. This one hasn't been an easy season, but we're growing young men, and we're making progress. So keep stepping forward.
Absolutely. All right, thank you.
Yes,
Go
sir.
Cobras.
All right, thanks, Coach Jensen, for coming in on this Saturday morning for the sports section. We'll take our last break. Andy and I will come back and wrap things up right after this.
Keokuk County Medical Clinic is your one-stop shop for healthcare. Our behavioral health providers offer a wide range of services to help you reach your goals. We have a variety of family practice providers who see patients of all ages for acute and chronic care. Jack's Corner Drug is located just down the hall for your convenience. Call 641-622-1170 to reach the clinic or 641-622-3184 to reach Jack's Corner Drug.
At Lifetime Dental, we know a strong, healthy smile starts early. That's why we love seeing our little patients early in life to create positive experiences and healthy habits that will last a lifetime. With advanced training in pediatric growth and development, as well as orthodontics, we have the knowledge and expertise to help your growing child thrive. We have a simple goal: healthy children, healthy teeth, beautiful smiles to last a lifetime.
And thanks to all of our sponsors on board here on Steve Shetler Media. The sports section, we're doing it live at Barnwired in downtown Sigourney. Great place to stop in on a Saturday morning. Before we take it back to Andy, let's take a look at some of our athletes and team of the week. That includes our Keokuk County Hospital and Clinic's Male Athlete of the Week for this past week, which was Luke Brennan of Montezuma football. Luke representing the Braves, and he was voted our Male Athlete of the Week. For our Female Athlete of the Week, Kelly Style State Farm is our sponsor, and McKenna Montgomery from Albia Cross Country. Heck of a runner for Albia. McKenna getting voted our Female Athlete of the Week. And then our Team of the Week, we go back to Montezuma for the Emma Ratliff American Family Insurance Team of the Week. Montezuma Volleyball being voted our Team of the Week, so congratulations to them. Again, earlier we mentioned Henry Adam was our Daisy Dew Landscaping Player of the Game last night for Pekin. And you know what? For some reason, Andy, I don't have my scores up on. I don't have my scores available, Andy. Oh. Who's running this show?
I don't know.
Gosh.
Got to find a new producer.
There wasn't a whole lot of. Again, it was one of those weekends where there was not a whole lot of close games. Boy, I thought I had my scores ready, Andy, but want to stall for me?
Yeah,
stall for
filler work. Well, the Hawkeyes don't play today, so I can't talk about that.
Nope.
And I don't follow the Iowa State Cyclones intentionally, so I can't even really talk about that.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, never heard of them. And let's talk about a possible replacement producer for Steve Shetler Media. Who would we get to fill in there? Maybe Toothy?
Neil?
What's Toothy up to?
Yeah, Toothy might work. Here we go.
There we go.
Now I'm ready. All right, our AE Realty area high school football results from last night. Pekin, of course, in that exciting, thrilling overtime win over North Mahaska, 28-22. As we know, Regina beat on Sigourney Keota 41-7. This is not looking right, but Montezuma got the win over Melcher Dallas. They scored a lot of points, just don't have it on the screen. Grinnell blanks Oskaloosa 28-0. We also have EV in a very exciting game. Andy, this is just the worst segment in the history of segments.
I disagree. I think it's one of the best ones.
I hate you. Nope,
My feelings are officially hurt.
Yeah, EV outscored Waco last night. I do know that.
I think it was like 56-55 or something like that.
54-52.
There you go. It was close. I knew it.
I'm going to bring your lovely face back up on the screen.
No. Oh, no. Okay.
Because I don't have the graphic to put on the screen. EV beat Waco 54-52. Winfield Mount Union in a bit of a shootout over HLVTC 50-34. Waukee Northwest, yikes, 70-0 over Ottumwa.
Oof.
That was a road game for Ottumwa.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's really tough. Ottumwa always has to go to Des Moines and play.
Yeah. They always have ridiculous road trips. PCM beat up on a pretty decent Albia team. It was 54-0, the final there. Durant puts it to Cardinal, 56-8. And EBF got the homecoming win over Louisa Muscatine, 56-6. So that Montezuma score over Melcher Dallas, 72-16. So some of your scores from last night.
Yeah.
How you want to end this show, Andy?
Well, I think we'll end it on a somber note. You know, the Washington community lost a young man over the last weekend, actually, Carson Ryan, to a tragic hunting accident. So I don't want to let this program roll by without sending the condolences to the family and to that community. Just an absolute tragic loss. And he ended up being the homecoming king, elected over the week, and just really tragic. But that's one of the things about this program, Steve, that I appreciate the most, is getting to know these young students from the small communities that really probably don't get any coverage anywhere else. And we get to have fun, whether it's volleyball, girls coming on, cross-country runners. You know, we had esports in the past. We've had a lot of different bowling teams. We've had a lot of different folks come on to the program that get their chance to sit in front of a camera and talk to a couple of goofballs like you and me. And we get to have fun with them. And when these things happen, it hits home. And that's one of the beautiful things about this program, is getting to know these kids. You know, it's easy to get it swept up into the rivalry stuff where, you know, maybe SK's playing Pekin, but backyard brawl. But then when you bring them all together, they're all our kids. So we have to take care of them. And it's just absolutely tragic to lose one of them. So my heart goes out to them.
And, of course, you know, a few weeks ago we had Sydney Anderson, a recent grad from North Mahaska, in that car accident as well. So, yeah, it's just, life stinks sometimes.
It does, yeah, those families. And thank you for bringing up Sydney, because we did not mention her, and we should have mentioned her. But, yeah, anytime you lose one of our athletes, it's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yep. Let's see here. Let's roll through some of these college games coming up today. Iowa State does play Cincinnati. Could be a good game. Wisconsin and Michigan's another big one. Illinois, Purdue, Clemson and North Carolina. Penn State will take on a winless UCLA team. Texas against a 1-3 Florida team. Vanderbilt.
Vandy.
5-0 on this season.
Rolling.
Ranked 16th.
It's Nashville.
Going against Alabama, Notre Dame and Boise State, Virginia, Louisville, Oklahoma, Kent State. Ohio State takes on a 3-1 Minnesota team, so,
PJ Fleck, are you a PJ Fleck fan?
Nope.
Is anybody a PJ Fleck fan? Nope.
Go
I
Ohio
shouldn't
State.
say it. Go. Ooh.
That's hard to say, too.
Gulp. Really?
Whoever wins, wins.
Go sportsmanship.
Yeah. All right, Andy, let's get out of here. We'll do the sports section again here at Barnwired in Sigourney next Saturday at 8 a.m. Tune in then.